good, YouTube? Most. Yo.
Go ahead and get it out there.
Oh shit, the most hated yellow nigga on this motherfucker.
Most hated and the best franchise player on YouTube.
Yo, so we coming at y'all today with some real shit. We finally recording, mostly due to me, cause this man's been ready. I just been kind of, man, I ain't even gonna stunt to y'all. Postal life ain't shit. Man, working 6 days a week, it drains you fast. And then when you do have a day off, you spend most of that day just trying to recover. So,
Thanks. Finally getting together, got our schedules aligned. I mean, finally actually able to record these conversations that we've been having behind the camera. So
months.
now we can bring it to y'all so you could see what it is that we're talking about, what we do behind the scenes. I mean, he got his channel, I got mine. Now we're going to bring it together here.
We'll make sure we put those links in the description. So, who wants to start? You want to talk about your skins first, or you want me to talk about my Ravens?
I mean, I feel like your Ravens had a better season than my Skins did, so I feel like it's only right that I go first because
By all means, sir.
I feel like
Floor
we
is
got
yours.
the most areas to improve on. As you all, I mean, maybe some of you might not know, I'm a Washington Redskins fan. Unfortunately, I had to change it up.
Whoa. Excuse me, sir.
I know.
Excuse me.
I had to change it up. I'm now a Washington football team fan.
Yeah.
Slightly still feeling some type of way about my owner not coming up with a name. Just for those of you out there, the name I'm leaning for, I want the Red Wolves. I mean, I've shown you the picture of the jerseys and everything. Like
Honestly, I think y'all can pull it off.
I think so too. I think it'd be nice. Like, I think that's the name that we need to go for. But anyways, that's a story for another day. Areas that I felt that my team really needed to improve on is the same thing I felt before the season even started. I felt like our defense was straight. I think the biggest question mark I had was the offense, more or less the quarterback position. And, I mean, they kind of answered the call in the free agency by picking up a quarterback, Ryan Fitzmagic. But, I mean, door's still open there. I mean, we're sitting at 19 for a draft, so there's no way we're drafting a quarterback. Trevor Lawrence.
That's not true.
I mean, who else was really out? I mean, look.
There could be a quarterback that slips to you.
There could be one, but at the same time, if we draft a quarterback, I see it as going to be a guy that we're going to have to build. And let's be honest, Washington doesn't know how to build up a quarterback. The last two quarterbacks we drafted.
I would have said that before. I told you my feelings on your franchise ever since y'all got Ron Rivera. I really think that he's going to be a culture shift. I think that things are going to turn around. So before I would have said y'all couldn't do it, but now I'm going to say y'all have a chance at doing it. The fact that y'all got Dwayne Haskins out of there as fast as y'all did proves to me y'all have hope.
My YouTube guys know how I feel about Haskins. Dwayne Haskins on Madden was my guy, that strong arm ability. But at the same time, I ended up letting him go because he couldn't get me over the hump. And in real life, Dwayne Haskins, man, has a strong arm, but I mean,
A weak mind?
Very weak mind. I mean, well, I can't remember. It was Flimlow I was listening to. When he said it the best to me. I mean, quarterback is just one of those positions where you're forced to grow up faster than what most guys come into the league. What was Dwayne, like 23, 24 years old, something like that? Maybe even younger.
Yeah, I think he's like 23.
But I mean, like, he has the title. He got the captain title. I guess Ron Rivera was hoping that once he got that patch, he would change his ways, kind of try to step up for the team and be that leader. But at the same, he just still, I mean, a lot of other factors in it. The fact that he still stayed in the exact same area where he grew up in, had all those different influences still in the area. I mean,
but as much as you're trying to cut him slack, I'm gonna come in and keep it real. Regardless, once he made it to the league, if he wanted to be in the league, he would have made the changes.
Yeah, you got to.
I'm not saying that he couldn't have been drugged down by like outside influences, because you know how that is. Like, you know, as a former football player yourself, you know it's real easy to get caught up in the life.
For sure. But at the end of the day, that's the dream that you're chasing. You finally achieved your dream. It's time for you to buckle down and get to work now. Like, you got to put in the work to be known as one of the Tom Brady's, the Peyton Mannings, the Drew Breeses.
Think about it
Michael
like this.
Vicks.
how many dudes did we go to school with that had the potential to be that caliber of a player?
For sure.
That's what I'm saying to you.
It
Just
all
because they get to the league doesn't mean it's necessarily going to click.
It all starts between the ears. What they have, like what their mindset is. Like if they're going in as, okay, I reached the pinnacle of my career, I'm at the highest level of football, the hard work is over. Or if you're like, okay, I grinded my ass off to get to this point, now this is where the real work starts. It's time for me to put in the work, be the first guy in the room, the last guy to leave the field, putting in the extra work, throwing with my receivers, knowing the ins and outs of my playbook, all the audibles, all the other stuff that comes along with it. And he just really wasn't there. He didn't want to put in that work.
Yeah, well, trust me, I've seen it on my squad as well. You know how that goes. But back to Fitzpatrick. I really think that that's an underrated move for y'all. A lot of people aren't paying attention to it because the thing about it is he's a really good quarterback. He's going to have his bad games with his good, but I think that, like, Washington is a place where he'll be embraced.
For sure.
Y'all have a great core fan base, even if it's a little wonky at times.
It is.
Y'all have some unrealistic goals every season. But, you know, I'm just saying. You know, y'all aren't as annoying as the Cowboys.
Oh, please, no. God,
No,
God,
you're not.
No.
So, I really think that Fitzpatrick will work out for y'all in the sense that y'all will do good with him. The only thing that I think y'all need to invest in is some more O-line help. Because you don't want him getting crushed.
For sure.
Because it'll be the Alex Smith thing all over. Alex Smith's a great quarterback when he's got time. Y'all just let the man get ran.
And see, that's the problem I'm worried about is if we're just going into free agency, like we're dressing like seems like skill position and just other areas to strengthen the defense. I haven't seen them try to make too many moves at offensive line. Granted, the only offensive lineman that, well, I don't want to say the only one, but the only one that I felt like was the best, he didn't want to come back home. Like, he was done with us.
Can you blame him?
No, I cannot blame him. I don't blame him at all, but he just did not want to come back home. And I'm just hoping that somewhere in the draft that we start to think like, hey, we need to start building our offensive line because if not, if we go into the regular season with the team that the way it is right now, Fitzpatrick has a habit of just really letting the ball go and not taking too many sacks. And we're going to put that all on him. Like when he starts throwing picks after pick, we're going to be like, oh, this guy's terrible. Like what the hell? What were we thinking in signing him, giving him all this money? I think we gave him, like $10 million, $13 million?
That's really not that much.
Yeah,
if we're going to be honest, you could have gotten Cam.
We paid
you could
more.
have gotten Cam.
True. We could have.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you really could have gotten Cam.
Yeah.
I know why Ron Rivera didn't do it because he's already did that experiment and he doesn't want to bring that to DC, but you could have gotten Cam. That's all I'm going to say.
But yeah, I mean, I just know how Washington fans are. We're going to start to ridicule the quarterback, say, oh, it's all his fault, this, that, and the other. I mean, come on now. We got to look at the bigger picture. We only have one decent offensive lineman. Sheriff made the Pro Bowl last year. Other than that, it's literally just been like a revolving door with the offensive line situation. I mean, 2 years ago, it was like the injury bug bit us hard. Like, I've never seen I've never seen it like that before.
Welcome to the Ravens season every season where you're guaranteed at least like 20 players on the injury reserve
I'm
list.
pretty sure it was to the point that we were literally just like picking guys up off the free agency, off the street, just like, hey, you want to play offensive line? Because, I mean, we've got nobody.
We've actually done that. Man was working construction. 2 days later, was out there playing NFL football. So I think it's a Maryland curse at this point.
Probably, but I mean, I feel like there's always decent offensive linemen or really good offensive linemen if you actually go out there and do the scouting and actually look for the guys. Because I mean, for a regular person that just watches college football, it's going to be a hard position to pick. Because I mean, nobody really looks at offensive linemen. There's not too many stats out there that you can say, oh, this guy had this many knockdowns, this guy had this many pancakes. Like, nobody really looks at that. So, hopefully...
I mean, there are people out there that do that type of film study, but you have to really find them. It's like a niche group. Like, I see them, but that's only because, I have that over-analyzing
And
issue.
I mean, you got to look at, like, guards versus tackles like completely different because guards you need them to be a little bit mobile because you're gonna ask them to pull left and right and all this other stuff, get out there to block for screens, so it's difficult.
Yeah. Plus they gotta sometimes get upfield and
exactly.
All right, so I think that y'all will do fine as long as you can keep the quarterback protected. Where I think y'all excel at is I told you last year before anything, when I told you y'all got Jack Del Rio as y'all's defensive coordinator, I already knew y'all were going to be fine. Y'all's defense is scary good.
For sure.
I think y'all will do good this year as long as you can keep Fitzpatrick up and, like you said, limit his turnovers.
Yeah.
So now that we know that, what's your wish list for the team?
My wish list, first and foremost, I like the fact that they picked up William Jackson in free agency, a nice little corner. But my wish list, and probably a lot of guys that are Washington football team fans aren't going to agree with me, I feel like we need to trade someone away on that defensive line. Like at least maybe one or two pieces to either look for a position to move up, like another pick, or just like I said before, find an offensive lineman, trade for an offensive lineman. So guys like Deron Payne possibly,
but it's easier said than
Matthew
done.
Ioannidis.
Let's keep it real.
I hate to say it. I don't want to trade away Montez Sweat, but if they give us someone good,
really
really offensive line,
you can't.
Look at the defensive line though. We got we traded away Montez Sweat. We still have Chase Young, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Matthew Ioannidis, and what's his name?
Their productivity is not gonna match what he puts out.
I get it, but
I get that your boy, he's balling. I'm not gonna deny it. Chase is a game changer, just like the boy in Cleveland. What's his name? Shit, I don't forgot it just Garrett. That quick. Yeah, Myles Garrett. Yeah, they're game changers, but they need help.
I understand that, but at the same time, I look at it from the perspective as defense is the area that our team thrives at. Where is our strength at on our defense? Our strength is our defensive line, and our depth is at our defensive line position. We can afford to lose one, maybe two of those players, depending on who they are, to strengthen up another area, and I feel like the production won't drop off as much.
Okay, since we know that the defense is straight, I have to ask, who do y'all got at wide receiver?
Right now, all we have is Scary Terry.
That's it.
All we have is Scary Terry, and then we got, what's his name? Logan Thomas at the tight end position. It'd be nice if we were able to target someone like Kenny Golladay. He's still out there.
I think he may have signed today. I don't know if I remember correctly. It might have been fake, but I was on Twitter, and I think I seen he signed a deal with someone.
I feel like there's a lot of receivers. It would be nice. It would be very nice if we were able to find someone in free agency for at the receiver position. Otherwise, I feel like we need to go look in the draft. Maybe we could find a decent receiver in the second or third round.
I heard that this year's draft is supposed to be deep at wide receiver, so hopefully both teams get lucky and we get what we need because we're both lacking wide receiver.
Yeah, for sure. But now into your Baltimore Ravens, who had the better season than my Washington football team.
Appearances can be deceiving. So, because we have these conversations daily, but I don't know if they know how I feel. So I'm going to put it out here. At the end of last season, I was very upset with my team. And not so much the whole team, more so with the coaching staff. I feel like John Harbaugh is a good coach, but he's not a great coach. And that, honestly, John Harbaugh's main problem is his pride. If he would put his pride to the side and make the moves that are best for the team, instead of making the moves that best fit his ego, I think that we would go a lot further than what we are.
So what are some of those moves that you think are best for the team? What should the Ravens be looking at doing?
Well, since we're not going to get rid of our offensive coordinator, because I think he's 90% of the problem.
For sure.
Since we're not going to get rid of him, I think that we really need to focus in on the main thing is making sure that we address O-line, wide receiver, and tight end. Like, the defense will be fine. Our defense, just like yours, is plug and play.
Your defense is always good.
Well, I mean,
always.
We fill holes.
Yeah.
We have our limitations. We learned our lesson because just like you, when y'all went through the injury bug, we went through it. We literally have had seasons where we have 20 players on the injured reserve. I think even one season, I think we got close to 30. I think it was like 28. So, yeah. This has happened a lot.
When that bug bites, it bites hard.
Yeah. Yes. But the reason why I say this is because, like I told you last year, which they're going to find out now, but when we got rid of Hayden Hurst and sent him to the Falcons, we screwed ourselves because we never picked another wide receiver. We never picked another tight end up. It was like, what are you thinking?
I understand that trade. I was like, you sitting away who? Like,
well, what it was he wanted to start. The same issue that we're now having with Orlando Brown Jr. He wants to be a left tackle. So we're probably going to end up either trading him away or doing something.
But see, that's the thing I didn't understand because whenever I watch the Ravens, it seems like they like to go with that triple option threat a lot. So it should be no problem for Hayden Hurst to be on the field.
And it all comes back to coaching.
Yeah.
Coaching and coaching pride. We had the worst offense as far as productivity from the wide receiver standpoint. I think we were ranked 29th.
Well, let's go ahead and put this out there right now because, I mean, clearly the Ravens didn't learn from mistakes in the past. When you ask Lamar Jackson to throw the ball more than 40 times a game, that's not a recipe for winning.
But, to be fair, I can't put that on Lamar because of the simple fact of the matter being that our O-line was so terrible.
Oh, I understand. I'm not putting it all on Lamar, but he's just not the type of quarterback that should be going out there throwing the ball 40 times a game. You got to utilize his run threat as much as the run game to set up the passing.
I can agree to that, but this is the problem. At this stage in his career, he's out to prove that he's as good of a passer as all the other quarterbacks.
For sure.
And the problem is that he is, but when he starts pushing too hard, he starts making errors. Mistakes that he wouldn't make, but he's trying to prove so badly to the media and everyone else instead of just staying and playing his style. He's trying to prove so much to them that he is what he is. But the problem is in doing that, he's hurting himself. Because number one, he's not getting help from the coaches. Mm-hmm. Number two, he's not getting help from the O-line. And the most important is he's not getting help from the wide receivers.
But you know the real reason why he's doing that is because when it comes time for Lamar to re-up on his contract, if he doesn't have those same numbers as Patrick Mahomes has, he's not going to get that Patrick Mahomes type of money.
No. This is where I think, and I know it's probably going to sound stupid because we both know as former athletes, you have to go in and get paid when you can. Mm-hmm. But I can see Lamar being smart enough to know that if he wants to get weapons, he's kind of got to work with the franchise. What I mean by that is, and I know this is going to sound stupid when I say it, but I spend way too much time analyzing shit. If he gets a deal for $37 million, he's still paid. He's not the highest paid, but he's still paid, and that still leaves room to wiggle and work with bringing in other people.
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is the thing why Brady was so successful and is so successful is because Brady understands. I can still get paid, but I can continue to get paid if I bring in better people to make my job easier and bring longevity. I think that's the problem right now is everybody is so worried about getting as much as they can right now that they don't think about their legacy. In Lamar's case, I can understand if he did take the money because he's on that rookie contract with a 5th-year option. I was about to say. And you know they're going to pick up the option.
They for sure are going to pick up that option.
But the thing about it is that, and I hope Eric DeCosta works it out with him before the option, where he pays him. And this is the perfect year if you're going to pay a quarterback to pay a quarterback. Because the cap is low. Mm-hmm. You know the cap's going to shoot up. because they're gonna start allowing people back in the stadiums. They're gonna, even though realistically it might not be the best option, they're gonna do that. So right now is the best time to strike gold on making those deals.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping at the same time that he doesn't get screwed over, and I don't think he will because his mother's his agent. Mom's gonna look out for him.
Yeah.
But off of that topic, the main thing that's been burning me up, a lot of Ravens fans want us to get a wide receiver. And I kind of don't. I kind of feel like, and I know it's going to sound crazy to people, I don't want anybody else's leftovers. I want us to draft a wide receiver and actually work with them within the system.
So you still want your team to draft or get a wide receiver. You just don't want to find someone out of free agency. You want to get someone that you can groom.
Yeah, because the thing about it is that if we get somebody that's coming with baggage, like I've been seeing a lot that they want Juju. I don't like that move only because I feel like Juju isn't the guy that we want to bring in with our culture being the way it is. Lamar and Hollywood and Mark Andrews are all young and they have a good nucleus. If you bring in somebody who's a distraction, it's going to mess it up. The only distraction that we would be able to get away with is AB. That's the only distraction. And the only reason why I say AB is because that's Hollywood's older cousin. So if he came here, he would know at the same time, I know what Baltimore's about. Let me get in here and do my thing. Because we got Dez, and I didn't want Dez to leave. I wanted Dez.
Yeah.
I wanted Dez when he came out.
But Dez isn't a distraction. Dez, in my mind, he's a motivator.
He was the best thing that could have happened to our team. As soon as we signed Dez, Miles Boykin actually picked up his intensity.
Exactly.
Miles Boykin started playing better. He wasn't that same player that he was at the beginning of the season. That's why I think, seriously, we don't need any other wide receivers. I hope we get Snead back, but I don't see it happening. But I would be happy with our core. We need a tight end. We signed the tight end through a trade with Jacksonville today. His name is Josh Oliver. Mm-hmm. He's just like a stopgate tight end. I'm hoping we draft a tight end. The main important position that we needed, which is center, I think we have already addressed. If they use him properly, he was the guy who came in, I want to say it's like Callie Stein or something at the end of the season. Exactly he was he was a lower dude, but he did a really great job. He was the only one out of our snappers last season at center that didn't completely just fuck the game up. Like, I mean, absolutely just let the game go to shit. And granted, I give Skura and I can't remember the other kid's name, and I apologize for it or whatever. It's just mind blanking me right now. But I give them their credit. They played through it, and it could happen to anyone. I don't want them cut off the team, but I don't want to see them getting starting minutes until they prove that they can keep up with the ball security. And mind you, I understand that, they're young and they're going to make mistakes, but honestly, for the undrafted guy to come in and play the way that he did, it really shows that that's what we need. We need him. We signed Zeitler. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you saw that. Well, he used to play for the Bengals and then he went to the Giants. I believe that's where he went. But I think that that'll be an upgrade. He'll be playing guard, so we'll have that whole field. And if we can work out some type of... And I've been thinking about this, and I didn't put it out to anyone, so I'll go ahead and say it now. I want to take Ronnie Stanley, move Ronnie Stanley over to the right side, and take Orlando Brown Jr., move him over to the left side. Because the reason why he wants to play the left side...
I feel like he played left tackle in
college. Yeah, last year. No.
He didn't play left tackle in college?
No.
I thought he did.
No. But, am I tripping? Did he? Because he played with Baker and Hollywood. You're right. He might have played left tackle.
Sure he played left tackle.
Yeah, I might be tripping. But the whole reason why he wants to be on the left side is because of, like, his dad.
Yeah.
His dad used to play for us, and, like, it's a whole legacy thing. So that's the only reason why I'm saying that. I did put it out on Twitter. I did. It was one of them.
Yeah.
I was bored today. But
So how far after free agent? How far away do you think that your Ravens are from making it back to the Super Bowl? Is it possible for you guys to take down Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs and get to the Super Bowl?
Not as we are. We're gonna struggle with the Bills. I mean, heck, we might even struggle with the Patriots.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just being honest because the problem isn't that we don't have the talent. The problem is coaching. Yeah. Until coaching improves, I really don't. I mean, we've had a lot of nice little off-season changes. One of our coaches used to coach Tyreek Hill. So, I mean, and that's a passing coach or whatever. But I still don't feel like we have what it takes. Until I see it, I feel like we're there to where we'll be competitive, but I don't see us being the number one team in our division. Yeah. I still see the Chiefs, the Bills. If everybody comes back and plays the way that they normally would, the Patriots being a player in that, you never know what certain other teams in the division are going to be like. Because, I mean, I don't really think that the Steelers are going to be bad, but I don't know what they're going to be like. Because Roethlisberger started falling apart at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. He was good to start, but it's almost like that cold weather caught up with him, which is unusual for him because usually Roethlisberger is one of the greatest competitors in the division. But the Browns are going to be another tough team, and nobody's talking about it, but quiet as it's kept, the Bengals were in every game last year. Yeah. Every game. Yeah. With a lack of effort from A.J. Green, they were in every game. So, I don't know. I mean, our division is going to be really competitive and make it really great football out of our division, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way about my team. I think we have enough to make it to playoffs once again, but seeing us get past the first round, I don't see it. I mean, it starts in our division. I mean, the Cowboys just re-signed Dak Prescott. I'm not sure if he's going to be back by the time season starts. I would assume he might be because, I mean, he's not going to play preseason, obviously. But Cowboys don't scare me. Giants definitely don't really scare me. The only team I'm really worried about is the Philadelphia Eagles because as quiet as it may be kept, or I think people died down and stopped talking about it, the Eagles should have beat us in Week 17. Like, the way that Jalen Hurts was playing, they should have beat us. Like, we couldn't do anything to stop him. Like, his run threat, his passing.
I really think it is going to be between y'all and the Eagles.
Yeah, that's exactly how I see it going. So, I mean, it's going to be between us and the Eagles for the division title. I'm hoping that we have just enough to edge them out. Yeah, somehow, some way, the Cowboys are going to find their way to make, like, if this team loses all this other stuff, then the Cowboys are the division.
They always do it. Every year.
Yeah.
Every year. I get sick of it, too. I'm like, what the hell? How are they hanging in there?
I do, too. But, I mean, I'm hoping that this year is not going to be as bad as it was last year for our division. Hopefully there's some teams that are above 500. Mainly, I'm hoping that my team is one of those teams that's above 500. But I definitely see us potentially winning the East again. But, again, there's just too many holes on the offensive line. Like you said about the receivers, we don't really have that go-to possession receiver. Granted, I feel like Terry McLaurin will shine a little bit brighter this year with Ryan Fitzmagic at the quarterback position.
Scary Terry will be Scary Terry, but the problem is once you run into a team like the Bucks, or a team like who's another team that's really defensive heavy? The Niners, or let's see, who else in y'all's division that has
just the Eagles? I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like
Fletcher Cox is going to be a painful situation.
But that's the thing. Once Scary Terry gets locked up, who do you have that's going to step up in the absence?
Hopefully, we'll be able to find Logan Thomas open on because I mean he had a really good year. Logan Thomas actually had his best year at the tight end position.
But the problem is he's only had 1 year of it. Scary Terry's consistent.
Actually, no, this is his second year because he's tight end in Cleveland.
I'm saying though, like he wasn't playing like that before.
Yeah.
He's had 1 year where it's been like consistent.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can say the same thing about my receivers. Hollywood was really good his first year, and then last year he was okay. But the truth of the matter is I feel like, and it could be the same for y'all. It's not necessarily always so much on the player so much as the scheme, because didn't y'all have an offensive coordinator change and everything last year too? Because when Ron Rivera came in, everything changed, right?
Clean sweep, everything.
Yeah,
changed.
so you got to give it more time to see how it's gonna play out.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I feel the way I do about our offense versus your defense, our offense versus your offense, is that Greg Roman has had the same game plan. He did it with the 49ers. He did it with Tyrod Taylor and the Bills. Now he's doing the same thing with Lamar Jackson. Yeah. He finds the same quarterbacks and he does the same thing. And I'm not saying that he's terrible, because he's not terrible. He's a really good run coordinator, but the problem is he's one trick minded.
Yeah.
He really has limitations as far as being a play caller. And when he's put in a position of power, I think he abuses that power. Because he came out last year when they were arguing, and he said that Lamar Jackson has the opportunity to change up plays. Mm-hmm. And then he said the key word, sometimes. So it's like, so what you're telling me is if he sees something that he doesn't like, but you like the play call, he still has to play it. It's like, look, coach, I'm going to get killed on this one. It's not going to work, blah, blah, blah. No, we know this is going to work. This is what we're running. Yeah. And then it gets stopped. Like Lamar Jackson literally went on Rich Eisen and said, they're calling out my plays on the line. And people,
can't do anything about it.
People really tried to defend that with, well, it's the NFL, that stuff happens, blah, blah, blah. All right. When we were coaching and we'd realize somebody knew our plays, we changed up the plays.
Exactly.
We called it so they thought that they knew what was going on, and we changed it up.
Exactly. Gave them a different look. So, same look, different design.
How is it that we, coaching middle schoolers, could understand such a simple concept, but a guy who's getting paid fucking millions can't understand that? That's where it frustrates me.
It's just common sense.
We can't get an opportunity to even coach high school basketball players. Well, we can, but, got to make my jokes. But we can't get that opportunity, and we're smart-minded people. We generally want what's best for the player. We want what's best for them academically. We want what's best for them in the long term.
Want them to grow as a player.
Yeah.
Get better, not just sit there and not try to fit the round peg in a square hole.
But that's what I feel like a lot of the problems with what we watch as far as like in the league is. The league is so stuck in their ways.
Exactly, and that goes back to what I was saying. You can't expect Lamar Jackson to win you ball games by throwing the ball 30, 40 times a game. Because that's not what he did. That's not what he did at Louisville. He dropped back to throw. You saw him throw the deep a couple of times, but mainly the offense that you saw run with him was triple option, him like scrambling with the ball. Like they set up the run threat so freaking hard that they're literally sucking down the safeties and those linebackers on all those play actions, and he's hitting the tight end. That's why.
And I'm not saying that can't work.
And everybody else
can, but you know as well as I do, you have to keep them off their game plan.
For sure.
You can't just go in with the same game plan every time. Yeah. Some games you're not gonna have the run. We run on every team.
Yeah.
But it's not successful. There's teams like the Steelers. You're not running on the Steelers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The Browns. You're not running on the Browns.
Even our defense, it was difficult to run on us. I think we had one of like the top 5 or top 10 run defenses in the game.
You're not running on teams like that. Yeah. In those games, you have to be able to pass the ball. You can't just go for weeks without passing and then think that suddenly when you get into a game where you got to pass that you're going to be able to. So I can understand why some games we may want to pass a little bit more than usual.
Yeah.
But you got to have balance.
Because you know that teams are going to come out and just say, okay, we're going to stack the box. We're going to play man-to-man behind it because we feel like our corners can match up with these receivers. We'll just load the box up on them.
Do you remember 2 postseasons ago, how we went out in the playoffs against the Titans?
I believe that was the year where Lamar threw like 55 passes or something like that.
I think it was a little bit higher. I want to say it was like 58.
I remember
59.
watching that game and just thinking,
you know how many run plays we had?
Barely any.
We had 9. 9 run plays to 50-some passes.
Just to go ahead and add on to the analogy or the walk down memory lane that you're thinking about, do you remember, what was that, maybe 3 or 4 years ago when you all played against us?
Oh.
And you all were literally running the ball down our throat in the first half, and we could not do a damn thing about it.
Pain.
And then came back in the second half and did not run the ball one time, and ended up losing the game. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I've never seen anything done like that in my life.
And you know why I say that I put that on John Harbaugh? Because since he's been here, the same failures have happened time and time again. Mismanagement of the clock.
Yeah.
Mismanagement of play calling. Not knowing when to take points. There's been plenty of times we could have gotten field goals. We have the best kicker in the league. Take your points. And what do? We get cute. And then we lose out. And this happens so often. Yo, so I want to know how you feel about kids, instead of going from high school to college, now they have the option to go to the G League.
I feel like it's an amazing option. I feel like it's really going to start hurting the pockets of like the major college programs, but from like the perspective of the student athlete itself, I feel like it's an amazing opportunity for them. I think it was that the G League was even talking about that it's not like they're skipping college per se completely. They could still be doing their technically an NBA player job in the G League, and that team will still either throw money for them to go to school, still get their education, and I mean they have all the different sponsorships, brand deals that still come their way and everything. They can go ahead and start signing their name to that and start making money off of their own likeness instead of going right to college. And then like you have situations like what the Fab Five had, or even like what Zion had at Duke. I mean, you know for a fact that the number 1 jersey at Duke was just completely selling out, whether it was on campus or at the local stores that were selling Duke memorabilia and all the other stuff. So,
of course, it's the old age issue or old age problem of the athletes are getting a free scholarship, so whatever they bring to the college is just payback for what the colleges are already. All the bullshit and lies
and all this other stuff. Like, oh, we're paying for your education. You should feel like this is this is your way of paying back to the school. Like, no, I'm giving you above and beyond. I think what they said. I think it was when Zion ended up getting hurt, where he like busted out his shoe. Mm-hmm. They were talking about like the what is it called? The insurance plan or whatever that Duke had on him. Like if something were to happen, like a tragic event, he's not able to play basketball ever again. God forbid all that stuff happens. Yeah. Then he would have gotten like a couple $1 million. But I mean, the grand scheme of things, that couple $1 million ain't shit to what he would have been making in the league as the number 1 overall pick. Like, so I mean, me personally, I feel like it's an amazing thing. Give them the opportunity to go ahead and start making money off their brand, off their own likeness, whatever it is that they got going on. And just like basically starting their NBA journey off early. What do you think?
I feel the same, honestly. I mean, I think that it was dumb when they stopped allowing high schoolers to go straight to the NBA. I think that was more so the colleges trying to hold a monopoly like they do with football. Yeah. They know that football and basketball bring them their money. So if they can control the athletes, the rich get richer. Because if you think about it, it's not any minorities that are really running the NCAA. No. But, I mean, I'm not trying to make it that issue, so we all know. I'm not saying it is what it is, but we all know it is what it is. But nah, all seriousness, with the G League thing, it was needed because athletes, there's so many times where people go to college and they get injured because you're constantly pushing your body to the max. It's late night studying while trying to be keeping your head into the playbook, or you're working out. It really leaves little time. It's almost like you have a job and your job is college.
It's basically an internship where you're making a set salary.
Yeah.
And that set salary, you're not even seeing, it's going right to your school.
Of course, and the schools benefit.
Room, board, meal plans. Like, this is what you're getting. This is what you're at. I don't care if you're at this level. If you're an athlete at this level, you should be making this, but this is what we're giving you.
Yeah.
This is your base salary.
It's pretty much like you're working for McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? In that you have a job, but it's not a job where they expect you to stay there. It's a job where they expect you to come, build up your resume, and then leave. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, they want to work you enough to where they benefit from you. For sure. Or Walmart. It's a place where they don't want to give you top dollar for the job that you're doing. They want you to come in and you do this job while we sit up here and we make the money off of you. Mm-hmm. We're going to give you something that you might be able to use. Yeah. But we're going to benefit.
More than what you are. We're going to benefit off you. I mean, the area that I don't agree with it, though, is, I just don't like the fact that it's going to lessen the level of competition for like
college.
For like March Madness and stuff like that. But I mean, at the grand scheme of things, it could open things up for like those Division I AA teams that end up making it into like I really don't want to mention this team. Well, the team that ended up beating my squad many years ago in the first round, but like the Mercers, the UMBC schools, like just the
VCUs.
Yeah, VCUs, teams like that. Yeah. It's going to open up the opportunities for them to go further into the March Madness season, into the NCAA tournament.
And get exposure that they would have never gotten, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, let's keep it real. If the kids are going to the G League straight out of high school, 9 times out of 10, they're the same kids that could have gone overseas. Yeah. Because, just keeping it real, the competition in the G League is similar, in my opinion, to playing overseas. So, those kids were going to do that regardless. They weren't going to go to college whether that option was there or not. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to go over to China and play 2 years in China, or they're going to go over to Germany and play a couple years in Germany, and then try and make it back to whatever, or hope that they can get a shot on a summer league team, whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, in the grand scheme of things, like, let's be realistic about it. If you look at the ESPN Top 100, I think the first guy that did it was, I think he might have been ranked like number 2 or number 3. He's the one that just went ahead and said, like, no, I'm not going to school. I'm going to go ahead and sign with the G League. How many of those top 100 guys you think are going to try to even take that opportunity to just say, I'm going to skip college, go ahead and try out for the G League? Because, I mean, it's just like, it's the same thing as trying to make it to the NFL, NBA. Like, not everybody's going to do it. Not everybody's going to have the skill level to even do it.
I mean, yeah, I understand that, but let's keep it real. But see, if these kids are going to make it to college, more than likely they have a shot at making it on a G League team. Because most professional athletes are either going to play some form of semi-pro ball or pro ball.
So now the question is, because in my mind, the way I'm picturing this is, if you're, say, like, you're the number 65 guy in the ESPN Top 100, mm-hmm. you don't have the most exposure, but you're not, like, at the bottom of the totem pole. Yeah. But I don't think he's in that range where he's going to be getting an invitation from a G League team. It's like, hey, come try out.
No, but see, that's the thing with the G League. You can... All right, so the only reason I know is because before always looked into shit like that. Like, I was going to try out for the G League.
Mm-hmm.
And how it is now versus how it used to be is completely different. Back when I was going to try out for G League, they were only paying, I think it was like $14,000 for a season. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm saying now they're about to make like $500,000 and
well, times have changed.
Yeah,
because you got to think.
For sure.
You can get paid to play 2K now.
For sure.
You're a professional athlete if you play for 2K.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people out there that, I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that I was already invested into my life, as far as like, you know, how far I am or whatever, and I didn't have like responsibilities.
Yeah.
I think that would be a realistic goal for me, would be playing 2K and trying to make a professional team, because you have the mindset to play. But what I'm saying to you about that is, you can play 2K and make the same type of money as a player who's in the G League.
Yeah.
Which blows my mind, because if you think back to when I was coming up, to make the G League, you're making $12,000, $14,000 a year. That's you playing and taking care of your own stuff.
Yeah.
They're not paying for your doctors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The only way is if you were just like in college, a bounce back.
For sure.
That's the only way they're looking out for you and you're getting any type of money, because they know eventually that team's going to come and snatch you back and they're going to make something off of that.
So I guess my question really comes down to, because I mean, at the same time, I feel like you're still going to get those same guys that go to try out for the G League. They're not going to make it.
Yeah.
But if you sign an agent, you're basically signing away your amateurism, your rights to be an amateur, considered an amateur athlete. So if they go that route to try to get into the G League, they already signed the paperwork for an agency. There's no way for them to turn back that clock and say, like, oh, I didn't make it. Let me go ahead and hop back to go to Duke or to Maryland and go to school.
I think, though, that what will happen is, and I'm not saying it's going to happen right now, but I think what will happen is within the next couple of years, you'll see the NCAA loosen that up. No. Wait, you know why? Because they're going to want those reject players. Because the bottom line is they're missing out on capital.
You know what's? I understand it, and it's a smart decision, but I do not see them doing that. The only thing that I see happening off of that is that you're going to see a lot more people that take that concept that LeVar Ball started with, making that the JBL type deal. They're going to make another league for those bounce back players. So, like, since the NCAA is going to be like, nah, you all signed away your amateurism. I have a paperwork contract right here that says you signed with such and such agency.
And when
you can't come back.
And when he does that, what's going to happen? Just like what happened now with the G League. It's going to cause ripples.
Yeah.
And it's going to affect the bottom line. And when you start affecting the bottom line, and they're not making as much money as they used to, they're going to change things up. That's why they're, right now, willing to pay the players to come and play in college now.
Yeah.
They never were before. It's because it's starting to affect their bottom line. That's the only time change ever happens. In America, if it doesn't affect the richest money, they don't give a fuck about it. We can stay poor forever. As long as we don't cause any type of chip to the foundation that is the 1%, it doesn't matter. We can all die around them. As long as they stay rich, they're cool. The moment we die and it affects them not getting the products that they want off of our slave labor, then that's when they care.
Well, I mean, I hope that... I'm not saying that I don't... well, personally, I'm saying I don't think it's going to happen. I would love to see the NCAA change their mind, change their thought process about everything. But I feel like the NCAA or NBA doing this thing with the G League is only like the first step. I still think that the NFL is going to have to come up with like a G League opportunity.
I was actually going to ask you that
before we really start to see some change. Because like you said, with the whole bottom line,
I was really going to ask you that. I was going to lead into that. Yeah. So it's so smooth that you said that, because it's like you picked my brain. How long do you think it's going to be before that happens? Because you know it's got to start happening. There's too many dumb players that can't make it through college that have the talent to be on an NFL roster.
It has to. And I'm right now in my mind, I'm thinking back to all those E60s I watched, like the greatest there never was, and all that stuff. Like dudes that were just complete beast,
but just for whatever reason,
they couldn't make it in school, whether it was injury, stuff like that.
Listen,
it's going to be too long.
I think this will all shift in the next 3 to 5 years.
I even question if this is even a thought process for the NFL, like a G League program of their own, having some like low level teams. Like, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I really don't think it should be, because I mean, hell, baseball has 3 different leagues. They have the majors, the AA, AAA, single. Like, they have all these different sub levels where they can call them up to whatever, the Yankees or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they got the Frederick Keys that can get called up to who? The Orioles?
Yeah.
Like,
and it happens a lot.
Yeah, so I
mean,
I feel like the NFL is just too far behind for whatever reason. I don't know why, but they do need to start thinking that way.
But you know why that is? Because think about it. I mean, the Major League Baseball, National Basketball Association, hockey, all those leagues, they aren't as popular as the NFL. The NFL feels like they're untouchable because they do put out the best product.
And I feel like their thought process right now, instead of downgrading basically, I feel like they think their thought process is, if we were able to do something like that, I feel like they're watering down their product.
But that's not even true, because if you think about it, what was the XFL? What was the AAFL and all that stuff? Arena football, lingerie league football, all of that stuff.
They still sometimes it just transferred over. That's all it was.
Okay, all that stuff is the same thing. It's a league that's underneath of the NFL. It's not directly tied with the NFL like G League is, but G League didn't really start out directly tied to the NBA, so you got to give it time.
Yeah, but I feel like the NFL just right now is thinking more worldwide rather than let's get this sub level and this sub level and this. Like, they're rather say let's go ahead and start thinking about expanding it to London. I feel like they're going to start. I think COVID slowed a lot of this stuff down, but I feel like the way that they were thinking, I think that they wanted to put like a stadium out there and actually put it like an expansion team out in London, possibly.
Not an expansion team, but an expansion league.
Okay.
Because think about it on Madden, they got that European league or whatever.
That's why I said it.
I really feel like they would do that.
Even in Mexico City, like they even have like the uniforms in Madden.
But if you think about it, it's no different than what they do with soccer.
Yeah.
I really think that it. And that's the thing that kills me. How can the other sports get it right and the NFL can't get it right? Other sports, like, if you think about it, there's always youth 16 teams and blah, blah, blah. You don't have no youth 16 team for football.
Yeah.
There's one for soccer, basketball, hockey, baseball. Every sport except for football. Every sport.
Yeah.
Every sport competes nationally except for football. Football is the only sport that doesn't.
Once the NFL gets on board, that's when you'll start to see some change in the NCAA. But until then...
You really think it's going to take that?
Yeah, I really do, because you got the Alabamas, the Clemsons, the powerhouse football teams that are still bringing in so much freaking money into their programs. Basically, everybody in the damn SEC that, okay, basketball, losing some basketball players, we don't really care. That's fine. Go ahead. You all can go ahead go ahead, skip college and go right to the G League and go play basketball. We'll still be making our money over here in the SEC.
But you know what the craziest thing about college football is? College football rivals NFL.
Oh, for sure.
So you would think that the NFL would take the initiative to kick them in their nuts.
Like I said,
just goes to show how stupid they are.
Like I said, their thought process is reaching nationwide. College football, you guys only affect things for your college towns in the United States. We want to reach out wider. You don't see too many people out in London saying go Clemson, Roll Tide. No, you hear them out there saying, oh yeah, I'm a 49ers fan. Oh yeah, go Ravens. Yeah. Like, yeah.
Oh man, I was gonna say something, but it may hurt.
They're never gonna be cheering my team.
I was gonna say that, but they cheer the Cowboys.
Hey, what my team had? What, five Super Bowl appearances? Won 3 of them. You got some kids out in third world countries that got T-shirts that still say Washington Redskins 4-time champions. So I'm good. It's all good.
Oh man, but not trying to be funny, but because the Jags seem to always get those London games, you know there's a lot of Jaguar fans.
Oh, for sure.
Well, YouTube, that was part 2. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
We'll catch you all in the next one. Till then, y'all know me, best franchise player on YouTube, King Law.
The most hated yellow nigga. Perfect. We out.
Later.
Another king that in the grass.